Today, I am going to talk on leadership skills, which is one of the very important skills under life skills. So, what sort of leader you are? This is an introspecting question. The question of what makes a good leader, in other words, what are leadership skills, is widely debated. It is clear that the ability to lead effectively relies on a number of key skills, but also the different leaders have very different characteristics and styles. There is, in fact, no one right way to lead in all circumstances, and one of the main characteristics of the good leader is their flexibility and ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Leadership skills are highly sought after by employers as they involve dealing with people in such a way as to motivate, enthuse, and build respect. There are skills you need. You will find lots of information that can help you to understand and develop your leadership potential. Whether or not leadership itself can be taught, there is no question that there are a number of core skills that most leaders have. These skills can be learned like any others. Number one is skills good leaders need. There are a number of broad skills, areas that are particularly important for leaders. So they include strategic thinking, planning and delivery, people management, change management, communication, and persuasion and influencing. First, we will take up the strategic thinking skills. Perhaps the most important skill a leader needs, and what really distinguishes leader from managers, is to be able to think strategically. This means, in simple means, having an idea or vision where you want to be and working to achieve that. The best strategic thinkers see the big picture and are not distracted by side issues or minor details. All their decisions are likely to be broadly based on their answers to the question, does this take the closer to where I want to be? Of course, as well as being able to create a compelling vision, they must also be able to communicate it effectively to their followers, which is partly why communication skills are also vital to leaders. The second point is planning and delivery skills. While it is important to be personally organized and motivated as a leader, these areas are key management skills, but the best leaders will also be learned to turn their hand to these. The best vision in the world is no good without a plan to turn it to reality. Alongside strategic thinking, therefore, go organizing and action planning, but both essential for the delivery of your vision and strategy. Project management and project planning are also helpful skills for both managers and leaders. Good risk management is also important to help you to avoid things going wrong and manage when they do. Leaders also need to be able to real good decisions in support of their strategy delivery and solve problems. With a positive attitude, problems can become opportunities and learning experiences, and the leader can gain much information from a problem addressed. The third problem point is people management skills. Without followers, there are no leaders. Leaders, therefore, need skills in working with others on a one-to-one and group basis and a range of tools in their armory to deal with a wide range of situations. Many of these skills are also vital for managers. In particular, leaders expected to motivate and encourage their followers both directly and by creating a motivational environment. One of the first skills that new leaders need to master is how to delegate. So delegation is very important. This is difficult skill for many people, but done well, delegation can give team members responsibility and the taste of leadership themselves and help them to remain motivated. There are further challenges to delegating work within a team, including balancing workload and ensuring that everyone is given opportunity to help them develop. Leaders and managers both need to understand how to build and manage a team. They need to know how to recruit effectively and bring people on board through induction processes. They also need to understand the importance of performance management both on a regular basis and to management poor performance. There are a number of issues that new and existing managers commonly struggle with. Fourth point would be change management and innovation skills. Change management may like an odd companion to the people management and communication, but leadership is often particularly important at times of change. A leader needs to understand change management in order to lead an organization through the process. For example, change management requires the creation and communication of a company vision. It also requires the change to be driven forward firmly and leadership to make it stick if organization is not revert within a very short period. Fifth point would be communication skills. While communication skills are important for everyone, leaders and managers perhaps need them even more. These skills are general interpersonal skills, not specific to leadership, but successful leaders tend to show high levels of skill when communicating. Good leaders tend to be extremely good listeners, able to listen actively and elicit information by good questioning. They are also likely to show high levels of assertiveness, which enables them to make their point without aggression but firmly. They know how to build rapport quickly and effectively to develop good, strong relationship with others. Whether peers or subordinates, these skills come together to help to build charisma, that quality of brightness which makes people to follow a leader. Leaders also need to know how to give others their views on personal performance in a way that will be constructive rather than destructive, and also hears others' opinions of them. They are usually very good at effective speaking, equally skilled at getting their point across in a formal presentation or board meeting, or in an informal meeting or casual corridor conversation. They also honed their ability to communicate in different situations, usually by practice over. The sixth point is persuasion and influencing skills. Finally, One particular area of communication that is especially important for leaders is able to persuade and influence others. Leaders also need tools to help them to understand the way that others behave and create positive interactions. As a first step, it may be helpful to understand more about emotional intelligence, another vital quality of leaders to possess. But there are a number of other tools and may also be useful, including transaction analysis and Myers-Briggs type indicators. Next point is understanding leadership. Many people consider leadership to be an essential work-based characteristic. However, leadership roles are also around us and not just work environments. Ideally, leaders become leaders because they have credibility and because people want to follow them. Using this definition, it becomes clear that leaderships can be applied to any situation where you are required to take the lead professionally, socially, and at home in family settings. Examples of situations where leadership might be called for, but you might not immediately associate with that include planning and organizing a big family get together, for example, to celebrate a wedding anniversary or an important birthday, responding to an illness or death in the family, and taking steps to organize cars or make other arrangements, and making decisions about moving house or children's schooling. In other words, leaders are not always appointed, and leadership skills may be needed in many circumstances. We might say some are born leaders, some achieve leadership, and some have leadership thrust upon them. But what exactly is a leader? A leader can be defined fairly simply as a person who leads or commands a group, organization, or country. This definition is broad and it could include formal and informal roles, that is, both appointed leaders and those who emerge spontaneously in response to events. In recent years, considerable evidence has emerged that the strongest organizations and groups tend to permit and actively encourage each member of the group or organization to take the lead at the appropriate points. Organizations and families with particularly controlling leaders, by contrast, tend to be fairly dysfunctional. Leadership, therefore, is in practically fairly fluid. Leaders are made by circumstances. The crucial issue is that people are prepared to follow them at the right moment. People also struggle with the concept of how being a leader is different from a manager. You may have heard that the idea that leaders do the right thing and managers do things right. This is a fairly delicate distinction, and many leaders are also managers. Perhaps the key difference is that leaders are expected to create and communicate a compelling vision, often associated with change. Managers, on the other hand, are perhaps more often associated with maintaining the status quo. Next point is developing leadership. Many people wonder if the leadership can really be taught. People with vested interests, academics, and those offering leadership training or literature of some sort are convinced that it can. Many successful leaders, however, never had any formal training. For them, leadership is a state of mind, and it is their personalities and traits that make them successful leaders. There is clearly a balance to be struck between these two positions. There's no question that some people are intrinsically more drawn towards leadership roles than others. However, it would be nonsense to suggest, although this has been mooted in the past, the only people with certain physical or personal traits could lead. For example, it has clearly been proven that being male or being tall does not of itself make someone a better leader, although many leaders are both male and tall. It seems more likely that leaders require certain skills. Some people will acquire these more easily than others. You can, of course, learn about effective leadership skills and practices, but being able to implement them yourself may require an altogether different set of skills and attributes. The question, can leadership be taught, has no simple answer, and we do not want to argue for one side or the other, but rather keep an open mind on the subject and provide information about the skills good leaders need. Next comes the leadership styles. One of the most aspects of leadership is that not every leader is the same. Different leadership styles are appropriate for different people and different circumstances. And the best leaders learn to use wide variety of styles. There are many different models of leadership style, but perhaps one of the best known to Daniel Goleman's 6 leadership styles. This is most certainly one of the models that is most strongly rooted in research, which may explain some of its popularity. Coercive or commanding, do as I say. Place setting, do as I do right now. Authoritative, come with me. Affiliative, people come first. Democratic, what do you think? Coaching, try it and see. Next point would be entrepreneurship, self-employment and freelancing. Entrepreneurship is often linked to its change management and likewise requires leadership skills. The skills required for setting up your own business, however, are not exactly the same as for leading a large organization. Freelancing is becoming a very significant part of the developed economies. In UK, there are over 2 million freelancers who generate a combined 108 billion pounds a year. In US, as many as 55 million people work as freelancers, 35% of the working population, contributing $1.4 trillion to the economy. It is predicted that freelancers will soon become the workforce majority. India, Canada, Australia and New Zealand also have large self-employed and freelance economies. A wide range of skills. There are, by definition, a huge number of skills that may be useful to leaders. The skills outlined here are perhaps the most important, but others may also be helpful. The best leaders know that they still have much to learn and continue to try to develop a wide range of skills all this time. I hope that I have given the bird's eye view of the leadership skills and qualities which is to be inculcated to any person who want to be a leader all the time. And teamwork is also very important in this leadership traits. If you like this video, kindly like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you.